Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, no matter where you are in the world. This is Howie, and I'm here to help you win with money. In this episode of Back to School, what is the value of time? I'm going to answer this from different points of view, but we're going to look at what time is worth and how should one think about time and the best way to use it. So let's get on with this episode. How much is time worth? What should I do with my time and how best to use it? So for most people, it's easy to figure out what your time is worth. If you're getting paid an hourly wage, then obviously you know how much you're getting paid. If your boss is paying you $8 an hour, that's what you're getting paid. If you got a job that's paying you 12 or 15 bucks an hour, that's what you're getting paid. Now you can add in, you can factor in some benefits in there if you want a more accurate view of what your time is worth. That's how some people do it. If you got a job that's being paid on a salary, you can divide that up by the total number of hours you put in a year, and then you can figure out how much your time is worth. But why is this important? So think of it as if you're paid 20 bucks an hour, is it worth it to do tasks XYZ? And the most common questions are, should I mow my own grass? Should I hire someone to clean my house or a nanny? Should I pay for someone to do a meal delivery or make a meal for me or hire a chef or should I do takeout? Right? These are things that are very common. So before I answer that, let's do a short plug. If you're on Facebook, join Investing 102. This is a group where you can level up your investment knowledge, talk to other traders and other people who may have a little bit more experience than you. So go there, join up now. So for some people, there's no way to work more or make more. So I'll explain this concept. If you made 20 bucks an hour, but at the end of the day, when your shift is over or your work is done, there's no opportunity for you to work more. For those on salary, if you work more, you may not be paid more. Now, some of it may be indirect. If you get bonuses at the end of the year, sometimes the extra work that you put in may influence the decision of the bonus. So, therefore, it may be a little bit harder to determine what the true value of your time is for those extra hours put in. For other people, there is extra work waiting for you. It's one of those jobs where if you put in 20 hours, there's work there. If you put in 28 hours, there's work there. If you put in 40 hours a week, there's work there. If there's 60 hours a week, there's work there. So for some people, they're in the opposite situation where there's always enough work. So this is where the concept of trading in time for money. All of us trade time for money. It's just some of it is a little bit harder to calculate. Again, depending on what type of work we do, the type of benefits we get, or how we're being paid for the time. Some people are on a salary, so it doesn't matter if I put in 8 hours a day or 15 hours a day, I'll still get paid the same. For other people, they can maximize their time because they get paid for every additional hour and all the extra work they put in. The other concept is what is your time worth in terms of the task? And so when you change the question, is it worth my time to do these tasks myself? So even though I may make a certain amount per hour, is it better for someone else to do it? And this is a harder question to answer because it doesn't always equate to your salary or how much money you make per hour. Because if you go out to dinner with a bunch of friends and you go for a 2 hour dinner, you don't say, well, I make 20 bucks an hour, so this dinner cost me 40 bucks in lost opportunity. Now, for some people with the unlimited hours, and if you can work and make money that way, it does become that decision. But for many of us, it sort of comes out of your free time or the time that you do that you could have been spent doing something else. I could have spent time with my kids or my wife or watching TV or doing a hobby. I could have spent time building a business. I could have spent time learning a new skill. I could have spent time relaxing or sleeping. Those have value. But those are really the ways you have to think about this question. And lastly, if time is the most valuable asset, right? We understand that. Most of us, we know we're not going to get more of it. If time is the most valuable asset, how should you use it? And think about that. For most of us, if you died early, that would really suck because that could have meant you wasted some time doing things that you shouldn't have, and you could have better used your time to doing other stuff that you wanted to do but never got a chance to do it. And that's the hardest part of this question. What should you do with your time? Because we understand time is the most valuable asset. So here's some thoughts that I put down. In the beginning, when you start trading your time for money, what should you do? Well, I like to think of it as while you're young, you should definitely invest and put in your time for money. Invest, buy assets, buy things that will generate wealth or produce some type of revenue or income over time. So young folks have a lot of energy to do side gigs, work two jobs. You can do a lot of stuff. You're very creative. You can work 15 hours a day, and you can make more money because your body's able to handle it. But remember this. Each year you need to consider that time becomes more valuable because you got 1 year less to live. So one of the things I like to do is focus on generating a passive income stream. As a business owner, you need to think about a different strategy. Should you be delegating more tasks to other employees? Should somebody else open the store for you? Should you hire a manager to run the business for you? Should you hire someone else to take care of all the problems that you normally would have to take care of? Hire a GM or somebody who will take care of all the other employees, and all you have to do is just manage the one or two people. So those are things you need to think about as a business owner. And as you age, working more should not really be the answer. I still think it's the opposite. As you age, do you also charge more for your time? If you don't, you may be doing this wrong. I do this as a financial coach. I definitely charge more for my skills and expertise now than I did 5 or 10 years ago. And if you do the same, I think you're going to get better results than you think. The time is worth more, and therefore I charge more for it. If time is the most valuable asset, you need to get to a point in your life that most tasks are those that you can pay others to do. And I'll give you a few more examples. Lawn care, lawn maintenance, pressure washing, car wash, painting your house or painting your indoors, whatever it may be, decorating, oil changes, car repairs, household cleaning, chores, nanny, babysitting, even shopping. Do you use other services? Standing in line is a funny one. I know I put that down there because I remember if you love Black Friday, there are people who wait 2 or 3 days outside of Best Buys to save $100 or $200. Is it worth it? If you have time working for you, you may not even care if you save 100 or waste 100. It's not worth my time to sit out there anymore. Was it fun when you were young? Maybe if you do it once or twice. But after a while, I don't know. I don't see that as, again, if it's your hobby, I'm not going to knock it. Go and do it. Knock yourself out. It's fun for you. Family tradition. That's wonderful. But for other people, they may not see a value in that. And so what I'm saying is, I'm not saying don't do your hobbies yourself. If you love fixing your car, if you love swapping out the motors or fixing your own brakes, changing the rims, decorating it, washing it, dressing it up the way you like, whatever it's called. Same thing with music, gardening, woodworking, building stuff, making your own dresses, whatever it may be, right? Creating crafts and objects in your house. If you love that and it's a hobby, I'm not saying you have to go and buy everything and outsource those things because you don't want to do it. If those are your hobbies, that's not what I'm talking about. And the last point is, are you doing this backwards? What I think is most people don't have a plan in place. In fact, they plan way too late. They plan at age 40, maybe even age 50 or 60. They do it backwards. Have you figured out how to retire the spouse? That's one thing that most people think they want to have but don't know how to get. This is why it's important. If you really value time, you only get one time to raise your kids. It is almost too late to raise them and teach them stuff when they're 15 or 18 or 20 or 25 years old. You only get that time once. And this is why I say if you truly care about raising your kids a certain way, if you want to spend time with them, if you want to be there watching them grow up, you need to figure out a way to retire your spouse so that the spouse has time to pour into your kids. They can spend time uh, being at every piano recital, sport event, whatever it may be, just being there for them. Your kids will be much more well rounded when you do that. The other question you need to ask yourself, if time is the most valuable asset, are you outsourcing more of these tasks to others or less as you age? Because that's the litmus test. If you're doing more things yourself, I don't know if I believe you then, if you believe that time is the most valuable asset. As you age, most of the time I do see other people outsourcing more tasks. And if you use time correctly, time value of money has compound. And this is a really interesting one because compounding interest is the same concept. If you really believe that time is so valuable, you should have leveraged it really early on so that as time goes on, you magically leverage the powers of it so that you do less and less over time and your money magically do more and more. And with that, I want to end it with this. Albert Einstein once talked about the eighth wonder of the world, compounding interest. He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it. And this is why I truly believe that if time is so valuable, and it is, then you need to come up with a way and a plan to figure this one out. Time is a great teacher, but it doesn't stop for anyone. You need to really focus on it. You need to get a plan in place. You need to work on it. It's not going to wait for you. It's not going to wait for anybody else. If you didn't do anything, time will keep on moving whether you're ready or not. With that being said, hey guys, let me know what you think. Give me a thumbs up, like this, share this with your friends. I'm Howie. I'm here to help you win with money. I've been helping my clients win with money. I've been doing this stuff. I've been doing the coast firing, which means that I never have to save another dollar. I'll be fine. That's why even when I sell products, I don't have pressure to sell because I don't need to. I don't need to sell anything. I don't have a sales pitch or a gimmick. I don't need to. I make enough money just in passive income that if I never sell a thing, I'll be fine. Do I sell? Of course I do. I sell because I really believe that I'm helping my clients achieve the same thing that I'm able to achieve. In fact, you can probably do it in a little bit less time than me. Apply the same things that I have learned. And if you do that, most likely you can shave off many, many years off of your own plan. Thanks again, everyone. As always, let's do this together. Let's do this $1 at a time and have a profitable day. Bye bye.